Yes, hallelujah. We do want to greet the nation in the blessed assurance of the name of Yahshua HaMashiach for this KEETVAY EMET. As the old ones would say, I'm just glad to be alive. So I rejoice in the bountifulness of life. I'm alive. And that He gives me breath in my being that I may live according to His will. I want to teach this teaching tonight, nation. I put this together in the dining hall yesterday when I sat down for breakfast, and the words began to fill my mind, my levin. It is in conjunction with what I'm teaching, but this is vitally important. And I went to the archives to see if I had taught anything of such. In the 11th month last year, the 11th month of 2015, I put together a teaching of this sort. I didn't read it. I didn't look at it, because what I taught in 2015 is certainly different what I teach in 2024. There's a mature level that as we teach, with the guidance of the principles of Yah, then the whole philosophy of that person change. It becomes more mature. It becomes more livid and alive. And the word that rose in my lev on yesterday was, what is a peculiar people? Who are they? You see, people that is rare. It's not like any other people. They are special. Their identity is different than that of the world. So I want to teach this teaching tonight, the special, peculiar, unique, and rare people of Yah. We really don't know. We don't know the excellence of Yah. We don't try to learn it, nation. There's nothing wrong with identifying my weakness and my like. The attention that I give to a certain efforts. You can tell when one gives a certain amount of attention and effort to any matter. You will see the fruit of it. You will see the labor, but it produces an abundance of fruits and special things. Now, what are you all doing back there? So funny, son. What are you all doing? What is funny? All right then, stop it, okay? We're not in a funny house, son. Now just honor me up here. I honor you. Don't do that, son. But there is something that is special about a people, peculiar, particular, a people that the best and the chosen, but there's a reason according to that selection, and I want to teach that in some form tonight that we may understand. There must be an excellent teaching whereby we are taught that we can understand these principles of Almighty Yah and understand the thoroughness of them, that they be lodged in our mind. You get nothing but from being taught. The lioness teach and the lion teach the cub. They teach them how to attack and how to be invisible to the prey. I would have begun here as Moshe writes to us in Devarim, Deuteronomy. And he speaks here with emphasis unto YisraYah'ale. Why am I special? I haven't used that word in a long time, so gula. Why am I of this special rare breeds? My mind is different than those that are created in the human form. And these are the words of Moshe as he identifies and gives us wisdom. Devarim 7:6. He says unto the Most High, for you are a kadosh people of Yah, you Abba. You are a people that is set apart. You're not like other people. You're different. You are a set apart people for Yah. It was nothing that any of us done to create that specificity or to make us special. This was an election and a choice by Yah. There was no works, anything that you may call, quote, I am a good person. There is not one utilizing that terminology that is good, but Yah is Tov. There is no one else. But he speaks profoundly. He says, Yah your Abba, he has Bacha. He is the one that has chosen you. It was not a process of election. He simply picked you out down the generation of time. And we that are his, we will hear the voice of Yah. And we will obey the commands and his instruction. There was nothing about me or you that makes us special. For all have sinned, we've all fallen short of the expectation of Yah. He said, Yah your Abba, he has bocher. He has elected you. He is the one that made the decision. He is the one that showed forth his choice. Not only that, but he decided for us. And he is the one that selected us. We did not select ourselves, but he selected us. He said, you to be, this is the command of Yah, to be a sagula, to be a special people. A people that is different, a different type, a different kind, a different attitude. You're a people that's set apart. You're different than all people. It makes no difference, the intelligence of one, but he is the one that selected you to be a special. What is special, man? It is something that is just unique. It is so rare. It is beyond our intellectual capacities to understand what is special unto Almighty Yah. He made the sun to rule and the moon to govern the night, and the sun with the brightness of his power and the great glare of its great strength to rule the day. So that's what he made us for. He made us that his light may shine. It was no process of him selecting a course that you will have to prove certain things to him. Before you were formed in the belly of your Emma's womb, Yah knew that that was mine. Had nothing to do with you saying, I'm repenting. But when you understand the riches of Yah, it will make you so in awe of him. And we will ask the question, what have I done to even deserve that? There is nothing that is tough about any man or any woman. There is no tough thing in us. We were born, and all of us, not some, were shapen in the same iniquitous ways. But he said, I will select that one though, them. He is the one to make us special. And we must identify the speciality of this people too. He said, I want to make you a special people to myself, to himself. That's what the book says. And then he says this, above, not beneath, but above. Your actions, your care, your love, your attitude is above all the constitutions of any nation. They don't know how to be kind. There's a pretense. He says to us, but my love will exemplify you above all people. He says to us, above all people that are upon the face of the earth, above every nation, every people. This is in the book. That's why we must be taught and we must be reminded consistently, continuously. It reminds us. A child never learns unless you remind them with repetitiveness and repeat the same things over and over and over. That it becomes innate in their mind, their psychological mindset. Above all people, every nation. He made the Hebrew YisraYah'ale above all people upon the earth. In every kind of sphere, in every kind of activity, he made us above. He made us the head. And we're not the tail end nation upon the face of the earth. And he says this in verse 7. Yahweh did not set. Do we understand that? We think that we are somebody great. I've done wonderful things. But that's not what the book says. Yah did not set his love upon you. He did not select you because he loved you. You had traits that were so excellent and exceptional. He said, nor did I choose you. You were not chosen because you were more in number than any people. He says, for you were the fewest of all the people. There are few that are among the righteous seed of Almighty Yah. I chose you because you had nothing that you could rely upon. That's where we as a nation, as a human, we all mess up. Because we rely upon this. We rely upon this. It has been shapen in iniquity. It was birthed. It was espoused out of such corrupt ways, nation. And so there was nothing you could offer. There was nothing special about me that he chose me. That he would make us a peculiar, a special type, a rare type. That people will look upon us and say, who are they? We're in this world, but we're not of the world, nation. We don't act like the world. We don't carry ourselves like the world. We don't hate like the world. We're not injurious like the world. We're a different kind, a different people. And we had nothing to offer. What could I offer him? What could I offer him? Nothing. The earth and the fullness thereof, it belongs to Yah. So what do you belong, or what I belong, what do I have that I can present unto him a great offering? Nothing. You brought nothing into this world. When you came in, there were only tears. The mama spanked the backside. And you're not taking nothing out of this world. It all belongs to Yah. He did not set you in this place because of you, but chosen you because you were great in number. It says in verse 8, but because Yah simply loved you. He doesn't love everyone. We understand the power of that great achava of Yah, his care and his kindness, because he simply loved us. We had done no deeds or any actions to prove or show him you must love me. That's not how the way it works, nation. He selected us before the foundation of the earth. And he said, I will present my fabulous truth to them. And that is the only thing that changes one. You can love all you want to. Love will never change anyone. It is the truth, the understanding, and the wisdom of that special kind of love. We've done nothing to earn it. A child done nothing to earn the care of the parents. But because that child has come from the womb, like we have come from the womb of Almighty Yah, that he cares for a special Segula people, like no other people, that brings a light to the world, that the world will see us. And when they see us, they will ask the reason of the promise of this tikvah. No one asks us that. No one even entertain us on those behalves, and that's factual. Because Yah loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn to your fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob, he would keep that oath unto them. That is his great, as we would say, a man's word is his bond. What you speak, you must carry it out. You must have the pure intentions above all things. That's why you should be quiet. Just don't talk. Unless you have the will and the ability to carry out the thing that you said you would carry out. Just like a marriage vow, until death do us part. I didn't know the power of Yah, but I knew when I said that, I meant that. Period. Death is the only thing that separates me from her. This is what Yah says. He has sworn to your Avatim, your fathers, and Yah brought you out with a mighty hand. And not only did he bring us out, but this is what he did. He redeemed you out of the house of bondage and from the hand of Pharaoh of Mizraim. We're our own king, are we not? We sit with our own crowns. So what I think takes precedent over what Yah says. And if we are genuinely honest with ourselves, you know that that's the truth. You set your own course. I set my own righteousness. What a complex disorder among people. There is only one Sadiq one. And his Torah is the only mandate for the nation of YisraYah'ale. As a young boy, we learned the commandments, but that meant nothing to us. His Torah sets the mandate, his commandments, his mitzvot, brings all an expression of what it implies and what it means. That's what brings us wisdom and understanding, nation. He has freed us. There was nothing we did. Your grandmother didn't do anything to earn this. Your great-great-great-man, grandpappy, did nothing. It was just by his selection, his choosing. That one. I just want a few, and you can have the billions here. That's all I want. And when that light of theirs shine, when the ma'or of theirs shine, that is the exceeding happiness and the gleefulness in the people of Yah, because we know him. We Yada, we understand the principles and the ways of Yah. To love him above all, and then to love your neighbor equal as loving him. You can't love him and not love your neighbor. I was preaching this before I left this morning. I said, there's one thing he reminded me. Because he said, when I was young, you would teach that. Evangelist Hartsfield taught me one thing. He taught me many things, but those are things that he taught me that they still resonate in my heart. When you see one, you don't know the circumstance, you don't know. We were a filthy people. Even our navel cord was not cut. Steeped in blood. You never know what they've gone through. That's why we must show affection with kindness to all men. I don't care if it's a bum or a thief. It makes no difference. You don't enjoin with someone to do that which is opposite, opposing Yah, but you do right by all men. You do right. And I will fuss at men and tell them. And they will love you. They don't know the power of love, but they will regard that. Well, that has no credibility. Well, let me read here in Thessalonica. 1 Thessalonian. This is Shaul. He gives us a sure, qualified constitution. And he says it like this, 1 Thessalonians 1:3. He tells us, remembering without ceasing your work of emunah. You must understand, I believe that I'm on the right way. I will not have so much opposition if I was on the wrong way. If I was doing something that was diametrically opposed to Yah. Remembering without ceasing your work of emunah, that's the only way we're going to live. And our justification, we must believe. If thou canst believeth. We don't believe, nation, then all things, there's a possibility with that. We just got to believe. Just believe. We may not understand, but I believe it. I'm going to trust it. I'm going to wait on Yah. We just believe for a moment. But if we simply believe, trust in Yah, there is no impossibility because we are special. We are a segula. We're a different kind. We're here to shine light upon the testimony and the power of Yahshua. By our words, know the way we live, the way we care, the way we love, the way we endeavor one another, the way we speak truth one with another. The Torah commands us to speak truth not with just YisraYah'ale, but with all men. You speak the truth with all men. You don't lie. You speak the truth. He saw that. And then he said, and labor of love. You got to labor to love. There's a labor to love. It's a labor to caring. We get lazy in every aspect. We shun. We disapprove. We don't want to be near. We want to be around. There's a labor of love. Someone does you wrong, you got to labor to maintain that righteous mindset. The old song, nobody told me that the road would be easy. There's a contention, not with you and me. There's a contention that's resonating in our own minds. I don't like what you said. I don't like the way you looked at me. I don't like the way you responded to me. Everything that Yah speaks to us, His word is powerful as we begun that teaching. It is sharper than a two-edged sword. It meant to cut me. When I'm wrong, it's going to cut me. When I'm right, it's going to cut me. On that stake, He suffered for all of us. And there was not one unrighteous seed or anything in His bones that disapproved of Yah. He was faithful, YHWH HaMashiach, with all obedience. And then He tells me this. He's speaking to me now. He's talking on the side of Yah, finishing out verse 1. He says in verse 4 and verse 3, verse 4. He says, knowing, Yada, understanding, having a deep understanding and wisdom, knowing, Yada, YisraYah'ale, brethren, beloved. Look what he called them. He said, you're loved, you're beloved. You're suffering and all, but still you are beloved. That's a great care of Yah. He should have killed me the second day that I began to walk with Him. I didn't know. I was ignorant. Still am. That's why we learn. In every process of life, we learn. He said, beloved, He said, this is one thing you must do. YHWH, your choosing of Almighty Yah. He tells us your election of Yah. We must know the election of Almighty Yah. We must understand the purpose, the reason, and why. We must yada, we must know, we must study to understand the election. That's why I wanted to start out with the people that were wicked. The Hebrew Israelites, you think He put them in bondage. They had Mizraim. Why do you think I'm in bondage unto myself and not walking in the liberty and the freedom of Yah? There is no one that binds me. There is no one that brings me under bondage. I bring my own self under bondage. Because of my immaturity, my lack of understanding, and my lack of knowledge. It's not someone else. Those songs not my brother or my sister, but it's me, oh Yah. I need deliverance. You need deliverance. It's not as much as your prayer for others. It is your actions, your deeds, your personality that speaks more than any of your prayer. It speaks volume. It speaks with great emphasis. We are known by the actions of our deeds and the works that we do. Let our works unto Yah speak for us. He selected us. He elected. He's the one that chosen us. It was His choice. It is the act of Yah by His own free, unmerited power of His selection. No one, the Malachim, did not point Him to us, but it is His choice. He knows the beginning or the end from the beginning. It all begins with him, doesn't it? He knows our end before it even begins. We have to look at him and see him in a greater light than we do. All of our minds think with this covering of darkness, and we must know him in the light and the power of YHWH that came in the same organism that we did and had great battles. I didn't have a battle like him, or have not. I don't believe I will. Put to the stake, and he cried unto Almighty Yah, have you forsaken me, my king? Have you left me? You know, within the confines of this flesh, I can't do it. But through the power of your testimony, you chose me from the Bereshit of the world to be the redemption of a people that you selected. And I am you because I'm the word of your bowels, of your mind and your hearts. That's the way this thing works, nation. It's not what you think you believe. It is what is written that you trust that and you obey it. It is by faith, by emunah. When every battle of my mind opposes me, yet the word is true. It is true. It stands alone, nation. We got everything here but truth and the love of Yah. We don't have it there. We must understand our YHWH, our election. It is simply this one word: you're chosen of Yah. You're chosen. That's one thing I couldn't understand in my maturing in life, because I thought everyone was better than me. I did. I don't mind someone being better than me or do great works. I rejoice in that. Why? Because that gives me a teacher I can learn from. I can learn from that. I can comprehend to a greater level and degree. We have become so arrogant, we've learned to be arrogant and foolish to learn. You learn the ways of Yah just like a child learned the way how to walk. He's taught that. Mom and daddy teach that. Show him how to stand. And he doesn't get that secured nation, but by them promoting that. Come on, you can do it, you can do it. He takes that one step, he gets so excited, she does, and she wants to run and she falls. But yet that failure does not cause them not to get up. And the more they do it, the more excited they get. That's the way it is with Yah. The more we obey his commands, and we sense that within the bowels of our minds, the more we press, the more we do it. If we don't do it, I know I use certain type of types. You can never get excellent at anything unless there's a pressing, there's a battle, and there's a continuous practice of that. You must. You must. That's why I was never excellent at sports. I could play them. I did. And the only way I could is I practice and 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 practice. I did. And that's the only way. Fit and in shape. Because I did it all the time. We are a people. What is this false thing they're having in America? An election. Filled with lies. No one pollutes your mind. He elected you before you were ever formed in your mother's womb. He said, that one is mine. I shall put my seal upon that one. Now I'm going to take him down this way. I would take up the hill, down the hill, and across the valley. But they will all meet in the centralized place. Where? They will meet in the body of Yeshua HaMashiach by revelation. The words, a revelation, it brings light, doesn't it? So when this word is revealed unto us, even in our reading, it brings a joy of light and excitement. It feeds us. It gives us, or our thirst is quenched by this living water nation. I've lived long enough to have had confidence in this word, and I can see how it developed me. That's just a fact, nation. I can see that. Can I proceed just a little further? May I? Let's listen to the words here in the book of Job. I believe this was Elihu that speaks here to Job. Job 37, verse 23. He said, let me tell you, man, I know what you've gone through. I see it. I see your body. I see the very wrestling and the battles in your mind. I see your body waste away. But he says, I want to tell you something, Job. As touching Yah, he is the most Sadeh. He is the most powerful. Look in the heavens, it's powerful there. There is nothing we can do to ascend. Even the creatures that are below, they cannot ascend above the limitations that Yah has placed in the heavens. He said, I know that he is almighty. He is the powerful one. Shadeh. And then he said, we cannot find him out. You don't find him out. He reveals himself unto the nation of his people. You cannot find him out. It says, he is Sergi. He is beyond excellent. He is magnificent. He is splendor. He personifies the most purified and the most excellent things. He is excellent in his power, and not only that, in his mishpat, his judgment, and in the plenty of his justice. He will not afflict. He will not depress us. He will not honor. He will not do us like that. And the only suppression and oppression, it comes from a mind that is empty of the power of Yah. He doesn't suppress me. I'm not oppressed. He is the most high. He is the most powerful one. He is the one of excellence. He is the one that is a magnificent, an expression of us, and a splendor that is beyond our comprehension. You don't think it is? Look at the heavens and tell me the heights of it. Look at the heavens and see the height of that. And there is no end. How can that be? Because there is no end to Almighty Yah. He's broader than this. He's bigger than the heavens. And yet he has forgive me, Yah. He has brought himself down to the level of what he created to show us his care, and gone through the horrific and horrible pains of death. For what? For us? I will not sell that out with some kind of juvenile feeling or expression. I will not sell it out. Well, I was young too. I wasn't no 40, 50 years old when he delivered me. I was a young man at the stage of youngness. You're not a young man, you're an 18-year man, but you got a little growing to do at that age. When I'm talking about a man 23, 24, 25, that's a young man. And he gravitates to that maturity. Whereby there's a few gray hairs in his head, that speaks of a life experience. That's what it does, nation. It is his specialness. And we are a special people. I'm going to prove it all unto him. Why would he select a dog like me? Nothing to offer. You can offer him your mind. It's not my mind. It's his mind. What do I have to offer you? Tell me. The earth and everything belongs to him. Or you can offer, tell me then, who gives you the power, the strength to lift your hands and your voice unto him. We have nothing to offer him. It is only him that equips us by how? By believing. If thou canst believe, I believe, Yah. I don't have the faith to understand, but I believe. That's the first priority, is just simply believing. As they would say in the days, believe in yourself. No, I can't do that. I believe in him. I believe in the power that's greater than me. And I know that this just not exists by some kind of amoeba or some kind of scientific formulation. This was created. We were made, nation. There is nothing more unique than humankind. Nothing. He made us in that image of him. And because he made us that way, we became violent and thinking we knew everything. You ever met someone like that think they know everything, conversate on everything? That's a fool. He made us in his image, becoming the same image of his son, because these things are vitally important to us. Let me move quickly. Philippians 1:8. Shaul expressed unto us as he did those of Philippi. He expressed unto them that he had a beloved nature for them, and that there was prayer that he offered up for them. We don't pray for nobody, nation. We don't even pray for ourselves. Tell the truth. We go through a format. But when a man prays, he offers up that living life from his ruach. He offers up that testimony of Yahushua to stand as the witness before him. Has he offered it up with honesty, true love, and care? Listen to what Shaul says. He said, for Yah is my record. I want you to be my record, Yah. He is the one that gives account of me, my record. How greatly I long after you all with the affections of Yahshua HaMashiach. Now that's a bold statement. You hear what this man said? He said, my care and I long after you with the same affection. We must have the same mind, with the same love, with the same care as Yahshua HaMashiach. Great is he that is within me. He lives in us. Not a body, but it is a testimony that we trust and we believe. You must hear this consistently, constantly. You must. You look at a ball player, they go with the same thing. Even though it's regimental, when it become innate in their mind, they do it over and over and over and over and over and over. That's why one like LeBron James has made it this long. No other creature has played basketball as long as him. 40 years old, and he plays like an 18-year-old. It must be done every time. It gets boring, doesn't it? But over and over. I don't care what you do in life. You just do it over and 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 over. You will realize the fruit of that. You will realize that. I long after you all with the same affection as Yahshua HaMashiach. We can't say that with each other. We don't long for each other with affection. We must be honest with ourselves. He said, and this I pray, that your love, that your achava, your agape, your kindness, he says, may abound, per isso, that it may be exceedingly abundant, that the world can see your affection. They can see it. Factual. People see men and women that they know, that their look and all is different than what they're accustomed to. Factual. Moving on. Yet more and more, you don't even know how to love. He said that your love for each other be more and more how? In knowledge. And then he says, and in all achithesis, in all judgment. It must be the same for me, for you, and that one. In all judgment, with honesty and pure. And you know what judgment began? His judgment is going to begin where? At his house, right? Where's his house? Right here. So judgment begins with you, not someone else. Judgment began judging your heart. If judgment begins at my bed, where shall the wicked and the violent heathens appear before me? It begins here. This began me judging her, the old elderly mother. It begins here. We judge everyone. We judge people with severity, without any regard, but yet we never judge myself that way. It begins here, must begin at the house of Yah. This is the bed dedicated unto Almighty Yah, but this is his house. He dwells here. You must judge yourself with a great severity and be honest with yourself. You can look at me, you can make judgment. Oh, Riyadh, we said that, did that. He's talking to them over there. Yeah, I'm talking to you. But judgment, his judgment must begin first here. It's going to begin with me. That's where it's going to begin. It's going to begin with you at that bed. Then he says this. Why? Why is it going to begin with me? That you may approve things that are diaphero. That you may prove things that are excellent. Things that are admirable. Things that are wonderful. Things that can be expressed and spoken of by others. You see, words, they are the most valuable thing in this book. And if you don't understand the concept of the word, you can never understand this book. You can read it, you can talk about it, but you can't talk of the power and through that same living word. It becomes alive in me. I can speak for me. He talks about that we are the excellence of the excellence, that you may be what? Sincere, without offense. This till the day of YHWH. Without any kind of offense. To offend the daughter or your brother, we must be without that. Until the power of Yahushua, that testimony, arise in us, nation. And if we examine ourselves, the power of that testimony just get real. We must judge ourselves with honesty, with severity. Because we judge others with a great severity. We give them nothing at all to hold on to. I'm glad I came up the way I did. I am. I'm glad I came up through that pain and opposition. And then when I would study this book, I would see things that other men or evangelists' hearts felt they were not saying. And I had no problem saying it. And many would get upset with me. But I did not stop saying that, just like with the old Mother Dorsey. She said, I was always waiting on you. My brother's old. He's older than me. There are those that are older than me. She said, I was waiting on you. When you become that man, you take over this whole thing. I don't want to take over that. And I wasn't going to take over it. That was my childhood, my juvenile experience, because I didn't know. But when I was reading in this book, I didn't care what nobody said. I would stand on it. I don't care what I read in this book. I had a simple understanding, but I knew it was true. And I will let nobody back me down. We talk about the excellence of Yah. But we must, and that you may be sincere and without offense until the day of Yeshua HaMashiach. Until the light of Yah rise in your heart. You can't be, you must be without offense. Let the light shine bright. Is that because you're smiling and grinning? Because there's a wisdom that speaks from your bosom. And when you go places and you talk, people will turn and look. Who is that man? There's no pretense in that man. I'm the type that I will say, how you doing, sir? I will greet the man. I want to meet the man. I want to talk to the man. I'm not afraid of a man, and I'm not shy. Can I proceed further? Hear this. Let's go back to Shemoth. I want to show us this, what Moshe said here in Shemoth 9 and 5. And he gives us this idea, he teach who is special unto Yah. Not everyone is special. And Moshe was a man that was driven to trust Yahweh. We must be driven. We must plot on. We must be driven with a pure passion and desire. Look what he says in Shemoth. He says, now 19:5, now therefore, if you will obey my voice, indeed, emphatically, with truth and honor, a purpose, it caused your heart to delight. That's what he's saying. Indeed, do it with a sincere, a full nature, and a desire that is beyond your expression to explain. He said, I want you to keep my Brits. Do you understand what that Brit of the covenant is? He has joined us. He said, I'm inviting you in, and I will show you what I will do for you. I will show you how I will stand by you. All I ask you to do is just keep this, because I selected you. Out of all the world, look at the millions and billions that have walked through this world, but I've selected a certain type. Not that they was without sin, but because I know he's willing, he's driven by his own will and his sin. Now I will teach him how those attributes will work not only for his favor, but it will express my purpose and everything unto the world. You got to have that drive, that willingness. A coach always critique you. We are a generation that we don't want to be critiqued. And you go through the same thing over and 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 over until it becomes innate. You don't even have to think. You don't have to count the steps. 1, 2, 3. You don't even have to do that, nation. That mind of Hamashiach is so powerful. And then this is what he says. He said, I want you to keep my covenant. For what reason? Then you shall be. It says it like that, does it? Then you shall be a peculiar. You shall be a segula. You're not special to him when we defy him. You tell me a parent will not put the rod on the child when they defy the mama? He said, then I want you to keep Shema. I want you to guard my covenant, my commands. It began with loving me with your energy and your strength. And those that lack what you have in great possession, you love them. If they're poor, you love them. If they're ignorant, you love them. If they're without, you love them. The world has taught us to frown on others. We think we're better. I don't want you to be like them. What? I'm like them. My mother would say, you're not going to be like them. Well, I hang with them. They're my homeboys. If they steal, I steal. When they lie, I lie with them. That's the arrogance of our own conceited pride that has deceived us, nation. This is the only kind of teaching. I don't care whose mouth is coming out of that's going to break the shackles of our bondage to get into the kingdom. Well, I can teach an intellectual message that I can sit here. Let me read that again for you. And I want to show you. Do you all understand? And they're just as dead as his language. When a coach wants someone to play ball, he gets all up in the crawl. Take him out, get out, sit down. I played basketball in school. I played with those that turned pro, the little masses. Walter Davis was a little older than me, that played at Phoenix, the ball club out there in Phoenix, and that's where he retired. Lou Massey, UNC Charlotte, and I don't care when he would come home. We would always, that relationship, it was genuine. Come home with a big old Mercedes-Benz. But it was always that friendship. When I would see him at the fishing hole down there in South Carolina, he was not arrogant. I love people like that. But let us proceed, all right? He said, you keep my commandment, my covenant. He said, then. There's the proposition, then. Then. That's what it says? Yeah. Then. Not you are, but then you shall be a peculiar, a segula, a special people, and a property to me. That I will inhabit the mind. That I will lay down my Torah in that mind. When we hear the truth, we don't dispute it. You will know it's truth because it will agonize me. It's aggravation. It identifies me and no one else. Didn't say you be a segula. He said you should be a peculiar treasure. You know, we would say, boy, he's a peculiar boy because he act different and look different. That's what the old folks. But they had no understanding of. They did not. The old preachers, they just knew that it was, what is it, peculiar. You see, old Mrs. Johnson over there, she's some peculiar there at times. And they would think that there was an indifference. It's silly or foolish. No, that's not what segula implies. You shall be a valuable thing to Yah. It is a very prized possession. It is a prized possession like YHWH. It is a peculiar treasure. He said, you will be a peculiar treasure where? To me. See what he says? To me. Above who? Above all people. Above all people. Because I want you to know that the earth is mine. All the earth is mine. All the earth whole. All the earth, it belongs to me. And because we are not taught in these kinds of fashions, we don't even know how to ascertain or retain things that are so simple. We think it has to be extravagant. But he's not that way. 7 days he made it all. I believe it. Just a simple plan. Just simple. Just simple. We got out there yesterday. First of all, y'all's mind is always organized. And we had about 500 plants. I said, we got 500 holes. Let's get it done. So everyone knew their position. You get there, you go there, you go there, and we're going to pump it out. And I said, Big Daddy, it take us no time to plant all these plants. It took us no time. No one was slack. There's nothing like a cohesive body. Nothing like it. Nobody was slack. We got it done. Knocked it out. Let's just stop at this time today. Come on, let's. Got it done. That's how you do things. I don't care where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name. I don't care what it is. There shall he also be in the midst. And he was in the midst of us because we're doing this as unto Yah. I do nothing. Nothing I do without his recognition. I do it as I'm doing unto Yah that he favors, that he looks upon me. We shall be above all people. He said, for the earth is mine. So he drove the nation. You must understand, people, this is Almighty Yah. Everything belongs to him. We brought nothing into this world, did we? You're not taking anything out. Mr. Trump is supposed to be a billionaire, and in my days, in our days, we that are a little older, is the most prominent man at that time was Howard Hughes. They said he was the first billionaire. All of these men are nothing but filthy dogs. Because Mr. Trump knows that he's a God. He is. I have no problem with that. He is a God. Because he controls the minds of the simpletons and the foolish. That's just a fact. I want to proceed here. Let's see if we can constitute what Moshe said with what Shaul says here in Ephesians. Look what Shaul says here in Ephesians 1:13. Moshe told us that we must have a great passion to trust Yah, to love him and to honor him. Above all, just to believe him. And this is the reason. Listen what Shaul says. In whom you also trusted. After that you achuo. After that you achuo. After you heard. And when you heard it, you understood it. It began to produce knowledge. And that knowledge brought about the revelation of understanding when you have heard the word of truth. It must be truth, nation. There was a proverb in my days, you that are older, you know it was. It would always, we would say, the truth hurts. The truth always hurt. When we're outside of the realm of Yah's practice, the truth hurt. You don't hear because you know it's the truth. That's why you're acting like that. We have that sense of things when we were growing up. Different generation now. Different. That's why I say, you achim, your daughters, you love your children and teach them. Don't teach them to be cold-hearted like I am. You teach them the principles of Yah. First of all, to learn how to care and to love. That's what you do. We must do that. Then he says, the message of your YHWH salvation, in whom, this is it. Also after that you have Tshuwah, you have believed. And when one believes, Tshuwah is that you're committed. When you believe something, you're committed. You trust that with every fiber of your strength. You committed, Tshuwah, that you're committed to trust. Yah said it, that's enough. And that's enough for me. If it's in the book, I may not understand all the elements. You cannot understand this book by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 verses. Everything in this book is hidden within another verse. And that verse will not reveal unto you because it's hidden within another verse. It is collectiveness of it all. When you begin to understand, then that is the process of developing knowledge. Your wisdom becomes fruitful. You just can't read this page by page. I've never read it like this. Only way I've read this book is word by word. Why? Because every word of Yah is impure. You must read it word by word. And so when you read it word by word, you examine the word in many portions of Torah. Just reading straight through, you will never get it. Because this is a great treasure. You don't get a treasure without great digging and great exploration. It takes a committed heart. You don't get it that way, nation. He said the word of truth, the message of your YHWH, whom also after that you believed. Just listen to that. Sometimes we don't hear things. Just when you believe that, you had no power to understand the depths, but you believed. You believe. When that old preacher talked, you said, that's right. And he calls you to Tshuwah. And you said, I will commit myself to that. I just believe it. I was that way. If I read it, I understood it, I will commit myself unto that. I was no scholar. Still am not. But I'm a student of this book. If you believe, there's a comma there, isn't it? He says, you were sealed. You were frachitzo. You were frachitzo. You were sealed. There was a mark placed upon you. He has always marked those that are for him and against him. The frachitzo. You were sealed. There was a mark placed upon you. Because when people will see you, you don't look like you're used to. You're different. Man, you look different. What have you done? Your physicality was different. I know that's the way they said it in my days. You don't look the same, man. Where you been? Man, you look so wonderful, man. Come on. What are you doing? That's the way it was said in my days. Words have great value. And we need this, even this night, nation. What did I do to be sealed? Just believe. What actions of my belief that produce any substance? It produced nothing. I just believe. That's easy there, isn't it? I just believed. I just believed. I just believed. I had no knowledge, but I simply believed. Just believed. Just believed. And then he said, you were sealed with Ruach HaKodesh. Look, a promise. The Ruach said, this is yours now. We got to clean him up and purge him out. And then through the process of believing, there were convictions. It caused my heart to cry. Caused me to realize, oh wretched man, not that you are, but that I am. Well, wretched. I'm the wretched man. It caused me to believe. And I was sealed with Ruach HaKodesh, a promise. That promise was that I would dwell within the dwellings of that one. Keep your hands off of him. Now, devil, you wicked folks, because we didn't know how to defend him. And we didn't know how to defend us, ourselves. There's no different process for me or you than any other man. It is the same. Yah is the same, YHWH is the same today, yesterday, and forevermore. He never changed. His process, the road, is the same. We must all come down the same roads. There is no road for you that's different. It is the same. That's a wonderful teaching. The roads, the highway. Which, look at this now, which is the earnestness of our inheritance until the redemption of what? The purchased possession. Who is that? Look what it says to here. To the praise of his honor and splendor. YHWH HaMashiach. Until him. That is the prize. That is the purchased possession. He paid the price on that stake. Every kind of vile thing they spat on him. They cursed him. And he paid the price. Can I tell us all? We got to pay the same price. Every last one of them. He laid the roadmap. He imparted his nature, his ruach, the living testimony in us all, nation. So he imparted that in us. That we may understand that Yah cares for us. And he cares for his people. There is one that expressed that in such a way, Melchia. I want to read that. The great care of his people. And he gives a great distinction between the righteous and the wicked. You can say what you want to, but there is a segregation there. Let us examine this quickly here in Melchia. He says in Melechai, he says, Yah, your word. That's what he's talking to Yah. He says your dabarim, and that's your promises, have been stout. They've been harsh. They've been harsh. Back in our days, they would say he's going to be a stout boy. He's going to be strong. Look at that boy's shoulder. He's got wide shoulders. He's going to be a strong boy. He's going to be stout. But he tells us that your promises, Yah, they have been stout, harsh against me. Even my words against him. And our words have been harsh toward Almighty Yah, says Yah. Yet you say, what have we spoken against you? We never think that actions speaks louder than words. What have I done wrong? We all are guilty of that one. Tell me tell me my fault. My words have been stout against Yah. I've tried to debate him from my ram of ignorance. Well, if that was so, then why is that? Someone dies, people say, well, I don't understand why she had to die, him had to die. He was wicked just like I was. That's why the great kindness is chassid of Yah. That should make us rejoice every day. If I got an order against you, it shouldn't last no more than a second. Let's get it right. I'm going to push you too. I drive because I drive me. And if I drive me, I'm not going to do you and show any indifference to you. Because I need you. You need me. We need each other. And that's the way it operates. That's just factual. We become so stout within our hearts, we don't need nobody. We don't care for nobody. We really don't need no one. When I tell you we have not learned to love, we have not. Look at this. Nitkiya. He said, you have said, it is vain, it is shav, it is empty, full of vanity to serve Yah. That's the way. Well, you know, if I can't do that if I serve the Most High. People would say that back in my days. I'm not ready to give that up. When Yah moved on my heart that day, I gave up everything. I didn't have to be weaned or anything. The tears of my heart flowed. I knew it was real. And just a fact. So you have said it is vain, it's empty to serve Yah. And that's what the world says. I don't need him. It's a vain thing, it's empty, it's shav. It has no purpose to serve Yah. Of what profit is it? What does it profit me to serve Yah? What does it profit you to serve sin? Tell me. You die. You die wickedly, you die broke. Well, he served his, quote, God, unquote. He didn't have no money. You serve your God, the arm of your flesh, and you don't have any. You brought nothing into this world. You're not leaving with a gold nugget or anything. That's just a fact. What profit is it that we have kept his ordinance and that we have walked mournfully? We don't even know how to walk mournfully. We lie to ourselves to promote myself, that I'm better than you and them and that one. That's what we do. That we have walked mournfully before Yah of Sabaoth, of hosts. He says, and now we call the proud happy, those that are violent against Yah. We say they're nice. Well, he's a sweet boy, he'll be all right. He's not going to be all right. She's a sweet girl, she's not going to be all right. Period. If we didn't get it right when we were walking out there, what makes us think that we're going to get it right? We're not going to get it right. When we reject Yah, we're not going to get it right. Yah presents himself to us. He reaches his hand of compassion. We turn away from him. You're not even fit for hell. And that's just the truth. We got some twisted doctrination, but the book never implies that. Look at all those that follow him, 70 disciplined ones. And they walked away from him. That's why our minds, there must be a constitution of truth, his emet nation. You must learn and understand. We call the proud, how is your mama doing? She's doing good. That's how we express things. He's doing so good. Man, he got a nice job. You see how corrupt our minds are? Instead of saying, I pray that Yah would deliver that son from his own corruption and his own, it's not someone else's wickedness. It's your nasty ways. Why? Because all of the ways of a man's heart seems right. It's not what I think that seems right. It's your own heart that tells you what is right and wrong, and Yah express what is right and what is wrong. He tells us what's in my heart. A yes, and they that work yashah, they that work wickedness are lift up. We lift up the most vilest of creatures. Oh, that's my son, I got to lift him. No, not me. I don't lift up nobody but him. They lift up the most wicked individual. They live, he ain't right, but no, I'd rather be right with Yah than to have $1 million. I could use $1 million. You want to send me $1 million? I'll come and meet you. Yes, they that test or tempt Yah are even delivered. Then the Nabi says in verse 16, then they that fear Yah spoke often one to another, and Yah hearkened. He listened and heard it. And Yah says, I know what Melchiah said. I know what Yochanan. I know what Yeshaya. I know what they said. He says, and a book of remembrance was khatab before him, for them. You notice that clarification? For them that what? That feared Yah. That yira, that had a respect and an honor for Yah, that feared Yah, and thought upon his name. We don't think about his name. We don't fear him. We do things that are repetitive. We lie, we cheat. We practice corruption. We practice corruption. There must be a deep reverence for Yah. That's what fear is. When the mama pulled out that rod, you feared. You knew what was coming. You could beg and all. But once she put that thing on your backside, they all should have been in jail for those kinds of whippings. My mother should have gone to prison. You think I would have went and told somebody, my mother beat me like that? No. That was her only way of trying to express some kind of care or love. She didn't know. She wasn't trained. She wasn't trained to be a mother. She wasn't. There's no beautiful training for